Okay lang yun. This is Harold, and this is the Respishow. Today is September 10, Friday, 8 p.m. This will be our best show yet because we will be talking about snakes and pigs. Malapit na ang eleksyon. Next week or 2 weeks from now, magpa-filing na ng Certificate of Candidacy. So medyo mainit-init na. In the meantime, pag-uusapan natin ang mga ahas. Hindi na alam kung ano nangyari sa mga ahas na to. Pero may news kay Jessica Soho, merong ahas na endangered, Philippine Cobra, pinatay. And meron ding isang ahas sa showbiz. Nang ahas daw siya ng asawa. Tingnan natin kung gaano siya kaahas. At meron ding mga ibang hayop na policymakers na pinagdedebatihan nila ang ating policies sa mga CQ. GCQ na ba or hard PCQ? Hindi natin alam. Kasama natin tonight ay ang aking kaibigan si Aaron de Guia and si Christian Gigante na magbibigay kulang sa kulay sa ating usapan ngayong gabi nito. At meron din ang aking kaibigan na si Butch coming from San Juan.
Okay, magandang gabi po, Harold. Good evening, and Aaron and Christian. Nice to see you, and to all of the hundreds of thousands of listeners ng Respishow.
Yeah, bring us to millions.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Sir Butch.
Hi.
All right, Butch, next October 1 to 8, filing na ng Certificate of Candidacy. Anong pinakahihintay mong drama on that week?
Well, I've always, even before, I don't know how come I really felt it, na si Sara Duterte was not going to run, no? Even before the drama that had happened, no? As early as when they started making etong mga surveys, sabi Sara and Bongbong #1 sa survey and all of that, no? This was about March or April. I said, I have a feeling Sara will not run. And I said, the reason I gave was her father's credibility and popularity will drop right after the State of the Nation address if he does not take up the position of addressing the high cost of electricity and water, because this is a primary problem of all households, whether you are poor, medium, or even rich. No? The level of bills that we pay on electricity and water is really among the highest in the world already. But I said that we in the KDP have been pushing for him to address this as mandated by the Constitution, that in Article 12, Section 17 and 18, you might want to look it up, mandating that the President must declare a state of emergency and the public utilities which are controlled by the private sector be returned back to the management of government. Of course, the intention here is to bring down the cost of what seems to be now one of the heaviest burdens of Filipino households. And he didn't do that in his SONA. And soon after, of course, everything started to come up, and he decided to run for. He got himself. He decided to run for the vice presidency. I felt that he was going to run for the vice president. Lalaruin na naman yan tao para sabihin na hindi siya lame duck president. Kasi kung minsan, pagpatapos na yung termino mo, hindi ka nang pinapansin ng tao at hindi ka na sinusundan. So sinabi niya, I'll still be around as vice president. Kaya sundan niyo pa ako. When he did that, I said I was almost sure that Sara Duterte will not run because you cannot have two Dutertes running for the highest office of the land. Can you imagine if Sara runs and wins as president and her father is her vice president? It looks very awkward, no? Internationally, we will be a laughing stock. Ang sasabihin nila, ang stupid ng mga Pilipino rather than saying masama ang mga Duterte. Kasi
Pero yan yung naobserbahan ko kahit sa pamilya. Kapag bata pa yung anak, ang nagmamando sa anak magulang. Pag tumanda na ang magulang, ang nagmamando na yung anak sa magulang. So, fitting lang.
That's true. Pero itong lumalabas ngayon, ang tingin namin, because of the developments that Sara has finally decided not to run, and her father is being pushed to run. Of course, he can still withdraw in favor of anyone that he might choose, but her father chooses not to run, to run for vice president. The beneficiary of this situation now, it is not Ping Lacson or Isko Moreno who are the presidential candidates. It will be Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao, although he has not yet declared that he will run, I would say that 90% he will be declaring his candidacy for presidency.
Right, ako din, Butch, excited ako sa pagdating na eleksyon. Kasi meron na rin kami mga kliyente na humihingi ng tulong namin na mag-file ng Certificate of Candidacy local sa pagsuporte sa election, sa pag-canvass, sa pagbilang, and then pag-filing ng mga finances nila. So excited na ako dyan.
Oh, very good.
Binibiro ko nga yung mga binibiro ko na nga yung mga tauhan ko dito. Takbo na rin kaya ako. Kasi kung mapatay man ako next year, at least nasubukan ko lahat.
Bakit ka na mapapatayin? Actually,
kasi medyo malayo yung pupuntahan natin next year, and then 2 weeks from now. Medyo south ng Philippines, and kailangan natin ng mga kasama.
Pero excited ba kayo we're entering the election season talaga? Dito sa mga millennials, is it something to be excited about or
Sir, yes. Yes, sir. I'm very excited, sir, para ma-witness natin ngayon kung paano yung desisyon ng taong bayan, kung mananatili ba tayo, nakokontento ba tayo sa ganitong pamamahala sa atin, o may bago tayong itatry na kandidato na mananalo sa 2022. So excited ako, bumoto din, at saka pumili ng bagong leader, hindi lang ng national election, pati sa local. Kasi marami ngayong kabataan, napapansin natin. Ako, may mga classmates ako sa College of Law na mayor na sila. Nag-stop sila sa law school, so na-elect sila as mayor. Na-elect sila as councilor. So merong active participation sa kabataan ngayon. Lalo ngayon may mga naghihikayat na yung mga kabataan mag-register na kayo kasi ang laki ng populasyon ng kabataan, ang laki ng impact ng kabataan sa dadating na eleksyon. So gusto kong makita kung yung mga kabataan ba ngayon may knowledge na ba sila sa politika or excited din ba sila tulad ko na boboto na din at pipili ng bagong leader. So,
Aaron, tanong kita. Kasi nung bata pa ako, tumatakbo rin yung tatay ko. So, napatay na siya ngayon. And then yung mga kamag-anak ko ganyan, tumatakbo pa rin ng politiko sa local. And kapag nangangampanya niya sila dati, pupunta sa mga baryo-baryo, sa mga coliseum. And then may malaking speaker. Tapos marami kayo. Nagpaparade. Tapos ako ng bata ko, nagbabato ako ng mga ganun, maliliit na cards. And yun yung paraan para manalo. Ngayon, meron ng social media. Sabi nila, mas effective daw yung social media. Ikaw, Aaron, boboto ka na ba? Number one, yun yung question ko sa'yo. And secondly, paano mo i-determine yung tao na iboboto mo? Paano mo siya gustong makilala? And through what medium?
Alright, sir. So, una po, registered voter na po ako. So, boboto po ako this coming election. And pangalawa po, I think maganda din po na gamitin ng mga candidates natin, yung social media. Dahil madami yung reach na naaabot ng social media. And sometimes po kasi, yung intellectual discussion, yung criticism, nangyayari na rin po siya sa social media, sa comment thread section. So I think this will be a really good avenue for us po to criticize these future leaders of our country.
Nice. Oh my God, Butch. Thank you so much. Ina-expose mo ako sa social media dahil dito. Ngayon alam ko, nakaramihan ng nanonood sa atin ay galing sa aking probinsya na Isabela. Pwede mag-comment kayo at sabihin nyo sa akin, kung tatakbo akong congressman ng District 3 ng probinsya ng Isabela, iboboto nyo ba ako? Please, naman niyo ako mag-decision. Meron na lang ako 2 weeks para mag-decide. Padali lang naman po, friend, ang certificate of candidates.
Sino ba makakalaban mo doon?
Well, meron, hindi actually, Butch, ang tagal ko na hindi nakaka-uwi sa probinsya namin. Pero meron ng mga families na iba na established doon. Pero nung kabataan ko, meron sila D, she's the very beginning naman, and then yung family namin, Vice Governor and then Congressman. Pero right now, limited na lang kami sa probinsya sa locality namin. Sa Reyna Mercedes, Isabela. Pero obviously, hindi ako participate doon. Kasi baka namagay sa akin ng mga mahal ko sa buhay. Pero dito sa may bandang district na mas malaki, hindi ko sila kilala. Pwede rin nila ako kilala kasi matagal na ako dito sa Manila. Pero pwede natin i-try. Baka gusto nila yung mga kabataan. And baka yung social media is linevel niya na yung playing field pagdating ng pagre-reach out sa mga tao.
Kailangan ngayon, yung mga new names, no? Kasi masyadong yung mga old names ng politicians, they're yung mga tinatawag na traditional politicians. Tsaka more often than not, they are a result of political dynasties, no? So, mas maganda siguro, lalo na kung social media ang basis ng kampanya, maganda siguro makalusot yung mga bagong pangalan, no? And then mabalasa ulit, no? Kasi old names, old habits, traditional politician, no? You won't see anything new from them, no? No new ideas. Just even in the local politician. Sa Isabela, sino bang nandyan? Yung mga D, tsaka sila Albano, di ba?
Yes, sir!
Ha?
Yes, sir!
Mabibigat ba yun?
Butch, talaga Butch yun. Yung mama ko ang magaling dyan.
Ay, mama mo.
Actually, sabi ko sumumpa ako nung bata ako na, oh my gosh, dito ako sa Manila, mag-aaral ako, and dito ko establish yung family ko. Hindi ako ever naging interested sa politics. Pero right now, gina-joke ko lang yung books na tatakbo ako. Pero malay mo, I will run as a joke.
Pero alam mo, your program here, you can use it to invite more young people outside and be a discussion group, no? Just to discuss matters of governance, country, anything, no? As much as possible, not to go into the politics of it, no? Just ideas. Example, umpisa kayo, yung profession nyo is the judiciary, no? What are the best things that you can discuss in terms of trying to reform the judicial system, no? Are you happy with the present setup, no? Itong mga so-called kasanayan, no? Is the judicial system the most honest branch in our government, no? Kasi judiciary, legislative, saka executive. If you are the judge, then you must have certain moral ascendancy over the others because you decide, not just on constitutional issues, no? But you normally decide right and wrong, no? Now, isn't the requirement for moral turpitude and dignity much higher for those that are in the judicial system? No?
Right.
Mga ganyan.
Yeah.
Then,
Butch, let's move on sa main topic natin. Mga living things. Mga flora and fauna. Alright, Christian, baka gusto mo namang i-debrief kami sa nangyari kay Mr. Roque.
Ito, recently, kumalat sa social media, especially sa Twitter, ayan, active na active ang mga tao sa social media. Kumalat ang di umano video ni spokesperson Harry Roque. Dahil siya ay nag-sprank or naging emotional sa kanilang IATF meeting na naganap this week. So, sa video na yon, hindi niya na-control yung emotion niya.
Right.
Medyo, hindi ko kaya eh. Medyo gumagano si Attorney Roque. Medyo galit na galit.
Nag-create ba siya ng waves?
Hindi ko masabi. Baka kung makikita nyo yung video, kalat na kalat naman. At kanina, tsaka kahapon, inamin niya na totoo daw na naging emotional siya at humingi siya ng paumanhin. So ano bang nasabi dun sa video na yon? Hindi ko masasabi verbatim, pero ang sabi dun sa video na yon na ginagawa daw ng gobyerno yung mga kaya nila. So sa kausap niya isang doktor na sabi niya ay naging emotional na din, kaya siya naging emotional din. Pero yung pagiging emotional niya ba ay sapat ba yun? Dapat ba ganun ka kapag isa kang mukha ng gobyerno, isa kang alter ego ng president?
Binatuhan ka na question, Aaron, kasi nakikita ko sa mga politicians natin ngayon, noong unang panahon, I would understand na yung mga politicians natin na parang pormadong-pormado, si Marcos kapag magsalita, kahit hindi scripted yung sinasabi niya, meron siyang tono, magaling siya magsalita extemporaneously, pag-deliver niya talagang pormado pa rin, classical, kumbaga. Yung mga unang panahon, meron talagang tinatawag na oration eh. And meron subject sa elementary reading.
Yes.
Oration, declamation. Classical yung mga yan. And then yun yung gusto nilang pag-deliver nun. Style, and then yun din ang gusto ng tao. Pero somehow, habang nag-modern, parang nakikita ko, nagkakaroon tayo ng nagiging loose yung mga politicians natin. Kasi nga, sometimes, mas naiintindihan ng taong bayan. Katulad ni Donald Trump sa United States. Aaron, anong masasabi mo sa ganong phenomenon ngayon?
I think, sir, I think that's one technique din po na ginagamit ng mga politicians natin. Kasi one, they have appeal sa emotions ng tao. And second kasi, kapag ka mas mas nakaka-relate sila sa lengguwahe mo, nakaka-relate sila sa emosyon mo.
Love language, parang ganun ba?
Oo, sir. Mas nakaka-relate ang tao sa'yo. Kumbaga parang isipin ng tao na, tao lang din to katulad ko. Nasasaktan din to katulad ko, na nagiging emotional din to tulad ko. So parang, isa sa mga teknik o isa yun sa mga masasabi natin na ginagawa ng mga politiko natin ngayon para mas lalo silang paboran ng mga tao, para mas lalo silang pakinggan ng mga tao.
Meron akong niligawan dati. Well, malamang niligawan dati. And syempre kapag single ka, wala ka pang girlfriend, mahilig ka magbasa ng mga books kasi wala kang ibang magawa. And sometimes, kung nagsalita ka o nagsulat ka o nag-text ka, napapansin ko to sa videos ko, nagagaya mo yung style ng nababasa mo.
Yes.
So, nung una ko siyang nakilala, tinetext ko siya, practically mag-text, of course. And medyo, alam mo yan, medyo makata yung pagsalita ko, medyo malalim yung pagsalita ko. Sabi niya ganyan, parang hindi ka normal magsalita. Mas gusto ko magsalita ka na parang normal ng tao, parang normal na tao, yung kausap ko sa telepono. Although, gusto ko yung lengguwahe mo, yung pagsasalita mo. Pero sometimes, gusto kitang maramdaman, gusto kong makausap na parang tao ka rin. Yeah, Aaron, I think you hit the right notes. Pero sometimes, maganda yung my style para sa akin, para lang magkaroon ng color. And maganda rin kung gusto mong mag-send ng message, gamitin mo yung lengguwahe ng taong kausap mo. Diba, Butch? What do you think?
Well, of course, kung gusto mong makapag-communicate ng mabuti, you have to use the language that you normally use when you're communicating. Ako, nung when I was still teaching, sabi ko the best thing to do is to be able to communicate ideas. But how do you know when you're communicating in your best way? Sabi ko, pag lumiligaw ka, no? When you're trying to attract the girl and you're trying to show her your sincerity, no? You communicate. Kung hindi mo ma-communicate yan, patay ka, no? So you were forced to do everything, not just use English, Tagalog, kung ano man magagamit mo so that you can communicate. Pati na rin ang body language. No, pero if you're going back to the government officials, itong si Harry Roque, he's the presidential spokesman. No? The presidential spokesman speaks for the president. You cannot divide that when you're on television and so on and so forth in front of in a meeting, in the cabinet meeting. Tapos, you cannot say that was you. You're there because of a role, and your role is presidential. Now, I saw that thing, and he was not talking to an ordinary doctor. He was talking to the president of the Philippines Physicians Association. Puro doktor ang ano niyan, tsaka frontliner sila. And she was not saying anything that was derogatory. He was just trying to explain the situation, no? That their doctors were getting sick, and that they're worried that they will not be in a position to be able to take care of the more and more. She didn't even have a solution. She just wanted to. But all of a sudden, it's almost unexpected. No? Harry blows up. And with those dagger eyes, and started looking at the camera and so on and so forth. My first reaction to it is Harry Roque is having a nervous breakdown.
Right.
Diba?
All right, Butch, anong masasabi mo? Sa video niya, sabi niya, I regret the manner but I don't regret the message. So what do you say about the message?
Alam mo, when you're sorry, no, you make an act of contrition that is unqualified. If you're going to qualify your apology, you're not apologizing. And that is what he did. He was qualifying his apology, trying to show that it was justified. And that's not the way to do an apology and in sincerity. As far as I am concerned, I think he has already destroyed his own political career almost permanently.
Okay.
Wala na. He wants to run for, he has been wanting to run for senator for the past, I don't know, decade or so. No. And finally, he gets a good chance at it. His name is in the roster early. And then he blows up like this. I don't think he's really meant to be a senator. No? Yan ang nakakalungkot. Because that video is a record. No? It's a record that will be put in the archives and will be coming out once in a while to haunt him. No? Every time he does anything, whether in public or in private or whatever, that thing is going to haunt him. No? And
All right.
sayang.
Yeah. Let's move on sa isa pang living thing na nangyari. Ito, actual talaga to. Actual na ahas. Anong nangyari sa ahas? Aaron.
Kasi po yung nakita ko po sa sa news, parang yung tatay, pinaghihiganti niya yung namatay niyang anak. Doon sa
Ano bang nangyari sa anak niya? Anong ginawa ng ahas sa anak niya? Hinakap ba niya? Kinagat niya sa ulo. And then, kinagat sa ulo yung anak, nakita niya may sugat na dalawa. Oh my gosh, ano tong sugat na to? So, nilagay niya sa tricycle, and then sa tricycle, napaka-dramatic. Sabi niya sa papa niya, Papa, hindi ko na kaya. So, pumikit yung mata niya, and then nalaglag yung kamay niya. And yun na yung katapusan ng bata. So, sobrang galit ng ama. Well, before that, meron daw natagpuan yung mga kapitbahay niya na cobra dun sa neighborhood. And sinundan nila sa kanyang hole, hinila nila, and yung tatay, pinalo-palo niya yung cobra, ahas, until namatay. Christian, may nakikita ka bang mali dito? Or is it a case na justice served?
Well, sir, yung reaction
Law of nature. According to the law of nature.
Kahit naman siguro sinong tatay, pag nakita mo yung anak mo, pinuklaw ng ahas, namatay sa harapan mo yung anak mo, tapos may mensahe may palang sabi, di na kaya, tapos pumikit na lang, so napaka-dramatic. Masasaktan ka at maghihiganti ka kahit sa tao. Lalo pat yung alam mong dahilan ng pagkamatay ng anak mo ay sa kagat ng ahas. So pag nakita mo yung ahas, anong unang-una mong gagawin? Di ba papatayin mo? Kasi galit na galit ka eh. So yung emosyon mo, yung anak mo, tao, namatay sa kamay mo, hawak-hawak mo sa tricycle, papatayin mo talaga yung ahas.
Sa tao, halimbawa, yung anak mo nasaksak, maya-maya namatay, tapos nakita mo yung taong pumatay. Anong gagawin mo? Justifiable ba yun na patayin mo siya? Kung justifiable sa hayop, justifiable ba yun sa tao?
Sa tao, iba ang batas sa tao.
Well, sabihin mo muna kahit hindi batas. Sabihin mo yung batas at sabihin mo yung sa tingin mong common justice.
Syempre pagka tao ang pumatay, sa kapwa-tao, ang gagawin niyang paggaganti ay patay din. Pero, valid ba yung pagpatay? Hindi, I'm sorry. Paghihiganti mo ay pwede mo bang i-invoke yung self-defense ng batas? Diba? So, may mga grounds bago mo ma-invoke yung self-defense. So, ganun din ba sa hayop? May self-defense ba sa hayop?
Alright. Pagdating sa hayop, actually parang pareho lang yung tao at hayop. Basahin ninyo yung Animal Welfare Act. and then that law about endangered species, bawal ka actually pumatay ng kahit na anong hayop unless para sa pagkain at merong immediate danger sa sarili mo. Kaya sa sitwasyon na ito, na medyo matagal ng oras yung nakalipas, nahanap nila yung hayop in the first place. Paano mo nasabi na yun ng pumatay? Kawawa naman yung ahas, walang due process, walang identification. And medyo malaki na yung oras na lumampas. Sabi ng batas, hindi mo na pwedeng patayin kasi wala na siyang pinopost na danger sa'yo. Ang dapat na ginawa daw, kinuha mo at nalip mo sa DNR. Pero, sa pakiramdam ng normal na tao, common justice, sa atin kapag tinanong natin wala yung batas na yun, sabi pa, okay lang yan. And then somehow, biglang lumabas tong batas na to at sabi niya, hindi pwede. Bawal. Alright. And then somehow ganun din nangyari sa tao. Kapag wala yung batas sa revised penal code na pwede ang self-defense, malamang. Kapag merong ganun nangyari na murder, tapos gantihan, i-murder rin nila yung taong gumawa, malamang walang kokontra sa atin. Unless merong kokonting tao na gustong kumontra. And sila, somehow, sila yung nanalo sa legislature and they ilagay nila sa batas. Yun yung situation sa batas. Ano ang opinion ko bilang normal na tao? Alright, dinagal niya sa batas. Pero I think isa ito sa maagang case na intellectualization ng batas. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Medyo maraming masyadong taong magaling sa Ilocano ang sabi nila, nalaing kalaunay. Kapag sinabi yun sa'yo sa Ilocano, hindi yun compliment. You're too smart for your own good. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Masyado kang magaling, masyado kang nagmamagaling. Pero sa totoong buhay, sa totoong aplikasyon, hindi siya sensible. So sa tingin ko, yun ang nangyari dito sa sitwasyon na to pagdating sa endangered species. I think sa buhay, karamihan, halos lahat ng desisyon ng tao, contrary sa pagkakaalam natin. Akala natin ang nagdidictate ng desisyon natin is yung intellect natin. Pero sa totoo lang, karamihan ng desisyon natin, ang nagdidictate ay yung monkey brain natin. Yung emotions natin. Kaya somehow, kung gumawa tayo ng isang desisyon na dictated ng emotion natin na hindi siya rational, I think naman pwede tayong bigyan ng konting leeway para pagbigyan naman natin yung konting hayop na damdamin natin. Kasi yun yung nagbibigay ng buhay sa atin eh. Kung wala tayong damdamin, wala tayong emotion, hindi puro utak na lang tayo, puro intellect na lang tayo, magiging robot tayo, parang aliens na lang tayo, wala nang sense ang buhay. Wala nang life. So medyo pagbigyan natin konti ang buhay natin, mamuhay tayo, bigyan natin na magkamali konti ang tao na pumatay ng konti, pagbigyan mo konti, pumatay ng konti. Sa mga itong sitwasyon, please, kung justifiable na konti, tulad nito, namatay yung anak mo, kinagat ng aso na namatay, siguro baka gusto mong pwede pagbigyan naman na parusahan niya ng konti yung hayop. Na ilabas niya konti yung kanyang nararamdaman. I think, pwede nating pagbigyan yun. Sa tao naman, pagdating sa revenge, hindi, not necessarily revenge, baka pwede nating i-redesign, pero I don't think viable. Theoretical lang ako. By principle na ako nagsasalita. Halimbawa, gawin natin yung judicial system natin na, alright, pinatay mo yung anak mo, pero somehow babalik ako sa'yo. Hindi na yung self-defense, pero sobrang sama ng loob ko, pinatay kita. Siguro mali na pinatay kita, pero ilagay natin yung pag-judge. Yung pag-judge ng sitwasyon na yun, na hindi sa judge, pero sa normal na tao. Kumbaga parang jury. Diba? Or parang tulpo, pero wala si tulpo. Medyo fair. Kung sabihin ng tao na justifiable yung pagpatay mo ng tao, although intellectually, mali dapat yun, hindi yung self-defense. Pero para sa kanila, justifiable yun. Consistent yun sa common notion ng justice. I think mas maganda yun na remedyo ng mga sama ng loob natin sa society. Ano sa tingin mo, Butch?
Hindi ako. Agree agad ako kay Christian.
At saka idagdag ko lang po dyan, sir, yung batas sa hayop o yung tinatawag nating Animals Welfare Act, may mga pagkakataon na pinayagan ng batas na patayin mo yung hayop. Katulad na lang kapag kaparte ng religious rituals nyo, pwede nyo patayin yung hayop. Ano pa? Kapag kapag ka meron kang permit sa DNR or sa kung anumang organisasyon or governmental agency na nag-authorize na patayin mo yung hayop sa magandang paraan, sa paraan na allowed ng batas para sa pag-aaral. So kailangan mo may discover ka.
Aaron, ano ba yung natutunan natin sa biology? Dalawa lang ang classification, di ba? It's either hayop or halaman. Kapag organism ka, right? It's either organism ka or hindi organism, di ba? Organism is a collection of cells and then mabubuhay. Alright? So, it's either plant or animal, right?
Yes, sir.
And applicable yan sa malaking animal katulad ng elephant and then pinakamaliit na animal katulad ng fungi. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, kung nagde-deodorant ako araw-araw at marami akong napapatay na fungi sa kilikili ko, ibig sabihin marami akong nababiolate na sa Philippines. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Pero sa batas sa tao, bawal yun ha. Walang papayagan na pumatay ka dahil pag-aaralan mo. Pumatay ka dahil parte ng ritual nyo. Walang ganon.
Tanong ko sa inyo, bakit iba ang paningin pag pumatay ka ng aso o kaya pumatay ka ng mga langgam?
Aaron, nakakain ka na ba ng aso?
Parehong hayop yan, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Ano masasabi mo, Aaron? Sagot mo nga.
Medyo mahirap yun, Sir Butch, ha? Pero kasi tayo bilang tao, bilang emotional na tao, siguro mas naaawa tayo pag pumapatay tayo ng aso. Kasi nakikita natin yung emosyon ng aso. Nakaka-relate tayo na pag masaya ang aso, alam natin pag masaya ang aso. Pag malungkot ang aso, alam natin pag malungkot ang aso. Kapag umiiyak sila, alam natin yung nararamdaman natin. Pero yung mga langgam kasi, hindi naman natin nakikita yung emosyon nila eh. Wala naman tayong pakialam sa kanila kung gumagapang man sila. Kaya siguro, mas madali para sa atin yung pumatay ng langgam kaysa pumatay ng aso, di ba?
Lalo kapag kinagat ka pa ng langgam, di ba? Basta eagerness mo pakainin yung langgam.
Pero yung batas mo ba ay differentiates between a dog and an ant?
Yun nga, Butch, yung sinasabi ko. Pagdating sa batas, akala ng legislature, yung kung ano yung universe ng alam nila na hayop, yun na yung universe ng hayop. Pero technically speaking, hayop din ang mga langgam. Hayop din ang mga bacteria at fungi. Kung gusto mong i-prosecute yung mga nagde-deodorant at naliligo araw-araw, under the law, pwede mong i-prosecute. Pero somehow, syempre, hindi nila naisip yon. And, di ba?
Ibig sabihin, baka hindi sila nag-iisip. No?
Madaming ganyan
ngayon, sir. Kung minsan, lalong-lalo na, okay lang yun eh, lalong-lalo na yung mga killing animals for gain. Yan. Siyempre, kailangan may batas dyan, di ba?
Right, Butch, nilegalize nga yung cockfighting eh.
Ha?
Nalilegalize na nga yung cockfighting eh.
You're
correct.
So, there has to be, parang more clarity in saying. Kasi all of this came out of this environmentalists, yung mga wildlife, yung mga ganyan-ganyan, no? So, they came up with the laws that were too general, no? And putting life of animals equal to those of human beings, which I don't think, I don't agree. One human life, no, is much more valuable than a million monkeys. At least that is from my. I would put the value on one human life rather than a million monkeys. But ibig sabihin, yung human life is much more precious. And the rest of the animals, it depends on how you preserve them for your existence. All the time for human existence. Like cattle, Cattle, you grow cattle so that you will eat it, no? So that you will slaughter them and eat it. The same thing with the poultry, the same thing with that. Now, if you're just going to go to Africa and pay $5,000 so that you can shoot down a lion, no, an aging lion, no? I think there's something wrong with that. No? All of that, kasi tayo yung tayong nangingibabaw sa lahat niyan, no? Tayo, human beings are the one over this, all of them, no? And all of them can be used for the benefit of human beings. Yun
Right. Right, Butch. Ang favorite ko na ulam is tinola. And ang parati kong kinukuha na part ng manok ay yung kanyang kwet. And nung bata ako, kapag kumakain ako, hindi ko kagad kinakain. So, ina-examine ko muna yung parte na kinakain ko eh. And every time, meron akong tinatanggal doon na dalawa na color yellow sa taas ng kanyang yun. And, nag-wonder ako, bakit iisa ang butas na nandun sa part na yon? And, dun sa part na yon, nung bata ako, elementary, parati kong tinutulungan yung lola ko na magluto sa likod. So, yung kusina, tapos sa likod ng bahay, merong mga hayop, mga manok, at saka may mga baboy. So, mahilig ako magkalibban. Sabi nila sa Ilocano, kakain ka before dinner. Kaya ang taba-taba ko nun eh. Tapos, isasabaw mo habang inuluto yung tinola. Tapos, tatanungin ko siya, bakit isa lang ang butas ng puwet ng manok dito sa kinakain ko, sabi niya. Sabi niya sa akin, tingnan mo yung manok, nakikita mo siyang kumakain, di ba? Opo. Nakikita mo siyang umiinom, di ba? Opo. Anong itsura niya kapag umiinom? Sabi niya, iinom ng ganyan, tok, tapos titingin sa taas. So akala ko nung bata ko, inumin niya pa ba? Tapos para bumagsak yung tubig, kaya sa titingin sa taas, sabi niya. So, bakit ganyan uminom ang manok? Sabi niya gano'n. Hindi ko po alam, sabi niya, dahil kada inom niya, namomroblema siya. Paano siya iihi? Kaya nagpapasal siya sa Panginoon, Diyos ko, kailan kaya ako iihi? Sabi niya, pero kailangan niya uminom eh.
Kala ko some scientific reason naman.
Alright. Isa pa para sa mga Ilocano, hindi makaka-relate yung iba dyan. Pero para lang sa inyo, anong hayop ang nagsisimula sa letter N? Sa mga Tagalog, wala kayong may isip. Englishman o, yung mga common lang na hayop pa, Englishman o Tagalog. Letter N na simula. Wala, di ba? Okay. Sa Ilocano, nuwang. Kalabaw yun, nuwang. Kalabaw, nuwang. Alright. O, proceed tayo sa next about hayop din.
Sa pang-ahas.
O, isang ahas daw. Sa sobrang sama ng loob. Christian, ikwento mo nga sa akin kung anong pang-ahas ito.
Wala namang pinangalanan na siya nga talagang ahas. May isang showbiz personality na sikat ngayon sa social media. Pinag-uusapan ng lahat ng tao. Kasi mga Pilipino, gustong-gusto nila kapag ang usapan ay ahasan at kabitan.
Alright.
So, ngayon meron tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa taong nagngangalang Paula Contis. Nandito ano?
Ano nangyari?
May dinala daw sa Baguio at may kumakalat sa social media na pictures and videos na nagsimba sa Manawan.
So, anong implication nun? So what?
So, ano ba kwento? Bakit ba tinawag na ahas? Tao yun. Bakit yun, sir?
Ibig sabihin, may niloko siya?
May niloko siya, may inahas siya. At kung may ahas, may apple. So, sino yung apple nun, sir? Saan ba nagsimula yan, sir? Yung tao na ng ahas na tukso ay tinawag na ahas, binansagang ahas sa Pilipinas lang. Saan ba nagsimula yun?
Alright, sa Adam and Eve, allegory ni Adam and Eve. In the beginning, created sila ni God. Na sobrang pure, lahat na lang nandoon sa Garden of Eden. Prutas at mga, I don't know, hayop? I don't know. Nung tinuturo sa akin ng elementary, I don't think may hayop doon na kinakain nila yung hayop. Kasi medyo pangit sa kapag pinake mo yung Garden of Eden tapos kumakain sila ng pork. Pero every time, kumakain sila ng hayop, ng fruits. and yung leaf parating nakatakip doon. Sobrang grabe coincidence naman nun. Ang galing, ang galing. Kung saan, kung saan mo pa ina-expect. Kung kailan maging exciting yung part ng painting, doon pa nagkaroon ng anticlimax. So, yun yung allegory ng apple. Na-camp. Merong isang serpent na tinap si Eve para kumain yung apple. Yun yung pinagbabawal na prutas ni God doon sa Garden of Eden. Although hindi siya apple na nakalagay sa Bible. Pero somehow, ang sarap niyang gawing apple. Kasi ang sarap ng apple. So kinain ni Eden yon, nabanish sila sa Garden of Eden, silang dalawa ng kanyang asawang si Adam. So wala sila kaya tayong lahat ngayon makasalanan dahil sa apple na to. Ngayon, true to his nature, itong si Mr. Paul Contis, nakakain siya ng apple at nagpapakain siya ng apple. So kasal ba sila? Ng kanyang...
Kasal sila ni LJ Reyes.
May mga anak sila?
May anak sila isa, babae.
Alright, halimbawa pumunta sa'yo si LJ Reyes ngayon at gusto niyang magpa-advise. Gusto ko nang makipaghiwalay kay Paulo Contis. Gusto kong gusto ko ring mahiwalay lahat ng pag-aari namin, and then yung custody gusto ko rin maayos. So bigyan mo siya ng complete advice para masolusyonan ang kanyang problema. Alright, isa-isa tayo.
Sige.
Okay, go. Ikaw mauna ka, Christian.
Ako, syempre, ang una kong i-advise dyan, syempre, kung gusto mo na talagang hiwalayan yung asawa mo at ganun yung ginawa ng loko, vowsy ang pinakasikat dyan na ngayon, na patok. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng, sasabihin siya ng mga netizen, concubinage. Diba? Sasabihin nila yun eh. Sa concubinage ba, ano kailangan?
Ano kailangan niya?
Ano kailangan under sa revised penal code? Ano bang kailangan sa concubinage? Pero para sa akin, ako advice ko, sa aming tatlo, nauna na ako, sasabihin ko, vowsy. Kasi yung violation against women and children, merong violate ba doon si Paulo Contis? Meron, emotional saka psychological. Kasi yung stress at saka anxiety at saka mental anguish na naranasan ni Miss LJ Reyes, grounds yun. Diba? Hindi natin alam, baka mamaya may financial pala. Tapos may child. Ang alam lang natin, yung pinapakita sa social media, yung sinabi na side ng future petitioner na si Miss LJ Reyes. So ako, i-advise ko, vowsy.
Anong remedy mo?
Sir, sa tingin ko, maganda rin talagang remedy, vowsy. Pero kung hindi naman, siguro kung ayaw niyo makulong yung asawa niya, pagbayarin niyo na lang ng damages.
Kailangan pa, no?
Alright. Kayo talaga, mga lawyers, napaka-litigious ninyo. Gusto niyo parating magkaso. Lumapit lang yung client. Gusto niyo lang maghiwalay. Gusto niyo lang hiwalayin yung yaman nila at yung mga anak ma-determine. Huwag ka na pag-suggest na magpakulong pa. Baka mawalan pa sila ng tatay. Ipa-annul mo na lang. And then dun sa annulment na yun, included na doon yung paghiwalay ng pagmamayari, included na doon yung visitation rights and custody. And custody after nun, as in totally, wala na kayo. Split na kayo. Pwede na kayo magpakasal ulit. Pwede na kayo mag-chicks. Although, meron na kayo mga girlfriend and boyfriends ngayon, you had better fix it now kasi baka kumita pa kayo habang kasal kayo, hindi naman na kayo nagsasama. In the future, mag-aaway pa kayo kung alin yung isasamang property sa conjugal at alin yung hindi. So, ayusin na ninyo yan, alright?
Yes, sir.
Okay, alright, punta tayo sa comments. Miss Roxanne, pakilagay nga yung comments dyan. Okay. Alam nyo ba na ang baboy, pag nakikita niyo yung baboy, napansin niyo, pag hindi siya mahilig tumingin sa harap, and lahat na lang titingin siya sa baba, ang baboy ay hindi niya kayang tumingin sa taas. Kahit ano pang gawin niyo sa baboy niyo, hindi niya kayang tumingin sa taas. Kasi sanay lang siyang nakatingin sa baba at gano'n. And napansin ko din yung baboy namin sa probinsya noon. 3 times a day sumisigaw. Alam niya yan kahit na anong oras. Umaga pa yan, sisigaw na yan. Tanghali, sisigaw, tapos pakainin mo. Gabi, sisigaw, tapos pakainin mo. Alam nila kung kailan sila gutom. Alam nila kung kailan darating yung pagkain nila. And na-observe ko, ganun din ako. Baboy ba ako? Hindi naman. Alam ko kung kailan ako gutom. Kapag hapon na yan, after work pagdating sa bahay, sobrang gutom ka na pagdating ko sa bahay, lakas ng kain ko. Sabi nila, kapag ganun daw yung system mo, kakain ka, saktong-sakto na gutom ka, yun yung prime na ma-absorb ng katawan mo yung nutrients, aka fats also. Fats, protein, and carbohydrates. Doon siya yung time na pagkakain mo ng maraming kanin, doon niya i-store lahat ng fats mo, and kaya sobrang daling tumaba kapag kumakain ka ng gabi. Kaya yung mga baboy namin sa bahay, grabe yung kumain ng gabi. Alright, Roxanne, pakabasa naman ng comments. Butch, kumusta ang weeks niyo ngayon?
Okay lang.
Okay lang. Dito sa sa gagawin nilang MCQ na ngayon, tapos nag-aaway sila kung ibabalik sa hard CQ o gagawin ng GCQ. And sinasabi ni Harry Roque na, alright, alam mo, kami mga nasa government, ginagawa namin ang lahat. Gusto namin, sino bang may kagusto na magkaroon ng COVID? Pero iniisip din namin na yung mga tao na naghihirap na hindi man lang sila makakain ng makakuha ng makabili ng pagkain nila dahil puro na lang COVID, hindi sila pinapapasok. Sabi ko nga dito sa pinagtatrabahuan namin dito sa company is kami nga ako, swerte ako kasi kahit hindi kami pumapasok, sinasweldohan pa rin kami. Right? Walang no work, no pay. So meron mga employers na gano'n na mababait. Pero ang observe ko lang dito kay Harry Roque, yung word na yung intention namin. Mabuti naman yung intention namin. Pero sabi nga nila ng mga commentaries, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Di ba, Butch? Hindi mahalaga ang intention. Kung minsan, mas mahalaga kung intelligent ba yung policy na ginagawa mo. Mas mahalaga kung minsan kung efficient ba yung execution mo.
Yes.
And,
intention has to be coupled with competence. No?
Right.
Without the competence, exactly what you were saying, the road is paved with good intentions, no? Pero wala. It seems talaga that they're all incompetent kasi naghahagilap sila eh. They keep on changing their minds, nag-aanuhan. No? Actually, from our viewpoint, it would have been very simple if they were honest and they were not corrupt. They would have looked for curative measures. And those curative measures like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin should have been made available to the public for those who do not want to be inoculated. You know, before the COVID, my doctor would always, before the COVID pa, he does not want me to go to the hospital as much as possible because I might contract pneumonia. Pneumonia was prevalent in all the hospitals. Sabi niya, you can go into the hospital for fixing your toe, and then you will end up dead because of pneumonia because you got infected with pneumonia in the hospital. You know, the hospital is nandyan lahat ng diseases, no? Pero somehow we were surviving it, and there was a time nagpa-injection ako anti-pneumonia, and they said it had a 5-year term of protection. Who knows whether I was really protected or not, but I still took it. Then there is a flu shot. Yung flu shot gives you about 2 years protection. Who knows? But I still took it. No? Now, the same thing can be done for the COVID. If you feel that you're afraid that COVID might hit you and you don't like, then take the inoculation. On the other hand, there are other curative measures, just like in flu. We take biogesic, you take this, you take vitamin C, you take all kinds of vitamins to get rid of your flu. You can do the same. That is what our Department of Health should have done in the first place. But instead of that, their eyes became so blinded by the billions of pesos that they can make at the expense of the lives of the countrymen. Up to now, they are still hiding the fact that those that have been inoculated, vaccinated, twice vaccinated, sabi nila minimal lang daw ang namamatay. So I was looking at the statistics from on TV from FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Sabi nila, for those, meron silang data, 227 people that were double vaccinated, only 5 died. 5 out of 227. You know, that is like more than 2%. Kasi 1% is 2.27. So 2% is 5, right? So that's about 2%. If 1 million, if you had 100 million inoculated, 2% is 2 million people. That's not small. They want to hit us with 80 million people inoculated. And those that are inoculated are the ones that have the chance of dying. 2%. So, malaki pa rin, di ba?
Right.
So, what I mean to say is we have to be more truthful to the people, or else we'll be facing this kind of situation.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the comments. Nick Salero Gallardo, tama naman si Roque, itigil na ang lockdown. Panawagan sa mga mandarambong na mga doktor. May maraming nanonood ng mga doktor sa atin ha. At mga hospital na kahit hindi COVID, na baril na aksidente, mataas ang BP, etc. ay kino-COVID ninyo. O nga, bakit kino-COVID? Meron bang incentive na i-COVID dahil sa PhilHealth makukuha?
Yes.
Okay. Maawa naman, that's real. Maawa naman kayo sa taong bayan. Mamamatay na kami sa gutom, hindi sa COVID. Limas na ang pondo ng PhilHealth. Nino, mga medical doctor at hospital lang ang nakikinabang of PhilHealth officials. Please share this message to spread the truth. All right, truth spreader, Nick. Panawagan sa mga senador na member ng Blue Ribbon Committee na dapat din imbestigahan ang mga doktor at hospital na sangkot sa PhilHealth scam. DJ Agustin, good evening po, Sir Aaron, Attorney Harold, and Sir Christian Gigante, and Sir Butch Valdes. God bless po sa lahat. At pati na din po sa mga taga-subaybay from Echague, Isabela, potential voter here. Philippine Islands. At mabuhay Albano at di po ang governor at vice-gobernador po dito sa amin sa Isabela. Alright. Angela Bolivar, good evening po sa inyo. Elma Villegas, magandang gabi sa Sir Butch, ate sa sidekicks. Oh, are you sidekicks? Right. Right today. Okay. Okay lang ba sa inyo sidekicks or foil? Okay. God bless you and Babuhay watching from QC. Malos Min Kui, good evening po. Zefar Zalmoran, good evening po sa inyo, Sir Butch, Attorney Harold, Respishow, et al. Yun, et alia. Yun ang sabihin ng et al. Yung et cetera is et cetera. So, pansin nyo, et means end. Watching from Cavite, Jose Lavin, good PM, Sir Respi, et al. Ano kayo? Kasama. Mabuhay ang show nyo. Regards, Sir Butch, watching Fairview. William Iaguno, gandang gabi, Sir Butch, KDP. Ava Kylie Kathleen Faye Ru. Hello po, ka-KDP, watching here in Okinawa, Japan. Arigato. From the land of the rising sun. Konbawa! Yeah, I can imagine a young girl with blue skirts shouting that. Zenea Arcilia, hello girl, welcome back. Good Attorney Harold and Prof. Butch Valdes at ganun din sa panauhin ninyo listening from Hong Kong. God bless. Kailangan natin mamili ng kandidato na hindi kampon ng mga oligarko kasi sa panahon ngayon maraming palpal. Tama ka, Sir Butch, huwag tayong boboto ng mga tradisyonal na politiko, ganun pa rin ang mga gagawin nila na nakaupo na. I promise you, Zinaya, kapag nanalo ako, hindi pareho ang gagawin ko. Kasi kung marami silang ginagawa, ako, wala akong gagawin. Yan ang promise ko sa inyo. Kung upula ako doon, wala akong gagawin.
Sound.
Rog Almanzor, good evening po, Sir Butch Valdes, Attorney Harold, Respishow, et al. Mabuhay po ang KDP watching from Tanza, Cavite. Glenn Buwan, hello sir, welcome back. Please take into the election equation the participation of Smartmatic. Yeah, I think karamihan ng mga issues in the past is yung system ng counting of votes. Butch, tell me something.
Yep. Nawala yung sound nyo. Nawala yung sound nyo.
Ha?
Yung sound nyo nawawala. I didn't understand what you were saying.
All right. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Glenn said, please take into consideration equation the participation of Smartmatic. So I would think so as well kasi in the past yun yung mga pinakamalalaking issue. So what's your solution to this technological problema?
The solution is abolish COMELEC.
All right.
And then don't make it, doesn't necessarily have to be a constitutional body. You can reorganize it and put it under the judiciary.
Mm-hmm.
So that it is not independent of the Supreme Court. And so that the members are answerable to non-politicians rather than the president who's a politician. So once you've got because the COMELEC is given full powers by the Constitution during election. The reason it is given full powers is because their appointment is dependent on the president. If the COMELEC is under the judiciary and the Supreme Court, it just acts in accordance, administratively, in accordance with what the Supreme Court is going to be giving them in terms of the functions. No? And their appointment is dependent on the Supreme Court. So they will not be how to say dependent on politicians, no, for their appointment. And since they are under the judiciary, things like Smartmatic will have more difficult time trying to deal with them, no, because it will have to pass through the Supreme Court. So now, can the system of elections be improved? I think so, but it does not have to be Smartmatic. We have long time ago already suggested a certain system that well, that's going to be too detailed. I mean, longer discussion, but it can be done. No, you don't have to go to manual. No? But those who want to cheat, and when you're in power, you want to use it because it simplifies. It simplifies like it. I know of a certain senator. He's very old already, still alive. But I remember him saying at one time, during the elections or after the elections, he says, these guys are so stupid, these guys running for the Senate. Because they're paying, at that time, they're paying 500 pesos per vote. They're buying the votes, sabi niya. Me, what I did, sabi niya, I just campaigned and waited after the elections. And every vote cost, the additional votes cost me only 5 pesos. With meaning, he was giving COMELEC only 5 pesos per vote. Whereas the politicians that were running were giving 500 pesos per vote. You see, they don't like to change the system because it favors them. But you have to change it so that it will negate and make it more difficult for them to cheat.
Right. Butch, as an auditor, ito yung naisip ko na problema eh. Tayo nag-audit tayo ng systems. Ako, di ba, pareho tayong auditor, and then sa Deloitte dati nag-audit ako ng IT, information systems. And ang concern parati pagdating sa mga ganito ay, number one, completeness. Ibig sabihin, lahat ba ng boto ay nandun sa system na ipasok? Number two, lahat ba ng botong na ipasok na yan ay dapat ipasok? And number three, meron bang mga boto dyan na spurious? Ibig sabihin, parang number two rin, na naipasok dyan pero inimbento lang, ipinasok. I think yun yung area na dapat solusyonan ng magde-design ng sistema natin. Yung technology, hindi mo maiwasan yan. Sa malaking bansa na katulad ng bansa natin, ang daming botante, kailangan mo talagang gumamit ng system. Pero dapat yung system, kailangan niyang ma-ensure itong mga objectives na to. So far, yung Smartmatic, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think na yung technology din sa ibang bansa ay na-address tong concern na to. Pero basic principle ito ng isang IT audit para ma-ensure mo yung integrity ng isang information system. I think, ako rin kasi nasa software din ako and then nasa data. Meron lang tatlong elements ng isang information technology. Mag-advance pa man yan ng 100 years from now or balik ka sa pinaka-umpisa. Tatlong elements lang yan. Number one, network. Kung saan dumadaan yung data. Yun yung mga cable at wifi na nakikita ninyo. Number two, yung software. Yun yung nakikita mo, yung interface na pinipindot mo. And nang i-interpret ang pinipindot mo. And number three, yung database. Yun yung permanent record. Siya yung nagsusulat kung ano yung pinindot mo yon. Kung i-compare mo sa totoong buhay, yung software, yun yung libro at pen. Yung database, yun yung libro na naka-store mo sa cabinet. Alright? Yung network, yun yung lakaran mo habang papunta ka dun sa libro na yun. Alright, so yun yung isang information system. Yun yung elements na information system. So yun yung kailangan mong protektahan.
Okay.
Yung nakita kong atake sa mga information sa Smartmatic, kung nagtotoo yung mga atake na yun, number one, atake na pwede mong gawin itong tatlong element na to. Yung element ng network, medyo mahirap na yan atakein. Kasi meron ng tinatawag ngayon na SSH. Yung kapag nag-i-internet kayo, di ba naka-orange ay naka-key, naka-lock yung key. Kapag naka-green yun, naka-lock yung key. Pretty much safe yung tinatransfer ninyo na data. So, hindi siya ma-manipulate in between sa nasa wire, between database and software. Ang pwede mong dayain dyan, yung database and then yung software. Yung software, andun yung code. Yung code na yun, permanent yun, hindi nababago. Pero parang yun yung utak na paulit-ulit lang. Yun yung utak ng calculator. Kung 1 plus 1, dapat lalabas 2. Pero kapag binago mo yung code, 1 plus 1, naging 4, yun. Yun yung pwedeng baguhin. And I think nagawa na yan dati such that kapag nag-enter ka, hindi mag-register yung totoong boto. Number 3, ang pwede mong atakehin yung database. Kahit 1 plus 1, 2, 1, 2 plus 2, 4, kahit yun pa yung entrada. Pero at the end of the day, hindi ka mag-run out ng alas 10 ng election day, ng off lahat. Ako, pwede mong gawin lahat yan, atakein ko kagad yung database. Wala pang 5 seconds na bago ko na yung numero yan. Alright, nabago ko na yung numero. And then somehow, kailangan na, ina-expect ng lahat na maniniwala tayo kung ano yung report na kung sino mang watchdog na yan. Sabi nila na audit nila yung software. Sabi nila na audit nila yung database. What? You know what? Kahit na sino ngayon na startup na nagde-develop ng software, ako, happy ko mag-develop ng software. Ang dami ko nang na-deploy na software plus database, lahat-lahat, kahit sa internet man, web application, sa cellphone application, magkakapareho ng itsura. Kahit sabihin mong in-audit mo pa yan kahapon, or kahit in-audit mo kahapon, pwede kong ipakita sa'yo corrupted data na hindi mo malalaman kung totoo yung data na yon. Pwede kong ipakita yung isang set of code, pero somehow mamaya isang pindot ko lang bago na lahat yung code. 2 seconds lang bago na lahat yung code. Alright. Pero Harold, parang imposible naman yung audit sa sinasabi mo ngayon. Posible yung audit, pero hindi pa na-apply sa elections. Kasi nga somehow yung mga politicians natin, hindi nila naiintindihan yung technology. Pero maraming development na dun sa technological side na pwede mong i-audit yung mga ganitong sistema. Alright, halimbawa, paghiwalayin mo yung system ng election counting and then yung system ng verification. Ano na kailangan mong gawin? Dapat public yung mga taong bumoto. Or pwede kang gumawa ng code sa kanila. I mean, unique code na makikita mo kung sino yung mga bumoto sa isang election. And then dapat meron kang way to verify kung yung taon na yun is mayroong eligibility na bumoto, kung meron siyang credentials. For example, kung meron ba siyang voter's ID and para sa address na to and valid. And yung software na yun is hiwalay and pwede mo siyang i-audit na automatic, check na dito, and then automatic i-check na, and then valid. Such that kapag meron kang in-insert na spurious dyan, or meron silang binago nila yung database, or binago nila yung code, at nag-insert sila ng mga peking boto dyan, kapag i-audit ko to later on, i-verify ko siya sa separate database kung saan nandun lahat yung list natin ng mga voters. Kapag hindi siya nag-match doon, ayun na, sila na yung integrity ng system. I think that is one way of doing it. That is the simplest way of doing it. Wala nang masyadong tsetche-buretche pa. Ako bilang coder, kaya kong gawin yon in 5 minutes. Bigyan mo ako kalahating araw, kaya kong gumawa ng sistema. Bigyan mo lang ako ng 2 ganun, kaya kong i-verify ka agad. Hindi mo na kailangan yung mga watchdog. Kaya kong i-verify, kahit kanino ko. Harap ako, defense ko, kaya kong sabihin na hindi sira yung integrity ng isang election process. Yapang no?
That's all good, and obviously you can understand the whole system. The problem with our setup is this: you are not able to examine it while the whole thing is going on. You can only examine it if ever they allow you to audit it, which means you have to have all of the information available to you if you're going to audit it. But they're not going to give you all the information. But nevertheless, when you start auditing it, they have already proclaimed these guys as winners. Nagsumumpa na yan. From president all the way down to barangay captain, sumumpa na sila. No? Tapos, paglabas nung audit mo, what happens? Sabihin mo, this thing is not correct. No. Will it be, who will use it? Who will use it in terms of the opponent of that guy will use it, right? The one who ran for senator or the one who ran for congressman. Because the government is not going to say everybody out. The president is not going to say everybody out. The one that will call for the audit, let's say a congressman or the Senate, will do it, and yet, especially if it's a national election, you need to put up all of the data. And they make it so difficult because all of the data will require so much money. If you want to complain about your senatorial candidacy and you want to, syempre, you cannot just say this one area because there is no basis. Even if you saw cheating in that area, there is no basis for you to say the whole country cheated you. So, you're going to have to ask for the whole country's records.
Right, Butch? It now appears, Butch, na yung sinasabi ko kanina na pwedeng remedy and then yung current system as you described it just now is actually the same. Merong mechanism ng audit, but inefficient. Hindi siya pwedeng gawin talaga. Sobrang mahal. Ang tanging hinihiling na lang natin siguro is, alright, parehong system, parehong principles, pero gawin nating affordable, efficient, mabilis through this technology. Parang ganon.
Yeah. Well, that can be done. No? But sa internal control, instead of ang thinking ko, well, it can be done through that, using computers. But ang thinking ko, structurally, no, you can set it up to make it difficult to cheat. It's just like when you have a bidding process, ang gagawin mo to make it difficult for them to talk to the ones handling the bidding, is do not identify the bidding committee until the last minute. That's one. Secondly, do not allow the companies that are going to bid to collude, so that kunwari there is one winner, nung pala nagsishare silang lahat. No? So what happens? You have to set up a system that negates that structurally. No? And this thing about the cheating, you were saying, what they did in the US. The transfer of data from the voting to the servers is done not by hot wires, but by Wi-Fi or by whatever, the internet. It transfers. And apparently the servers that were used to intervene in the elections in the US were not even housed in the US. They were in different countries, in Italy, in Germany, and in France. Not only were they not in different countries, they were in in official government offices connected to the embassy of the US, where the servers were used to intervene into the elections and change the results. Now they're finding that out only now, because I don't know what kind of forensic audit they've come up with. Kung ako, Harold, since you're familiar with that, and you know what internal control principles are, if I were you, I'd try to communicate with those that are handling the forensic audit of the November 20 elections in the US. They have now covered four states that they found massive cheating and in different ways, wherein Dominion and Smartmatic was involved. No. And they feel that they have the evidence strong enough to withstand in court. No. So now, maybe if we have that capability here, since it's 2022, if one of you or you goes to the US and starts to study exactly how they did it, you develop the capability for forensic audit here, and government will be able to make use of you, and the voters will feel a little bit more secure about their votes. The voting is going to be May 22 pa. No? May panahon pa.
Yeah.
I'd suggest that if you have that capability, Harold, no one has it now. Etong mga computer people dito ngayon, saying this, that, none of them are auditors. They do not think in terms of check and balance, internal control systems. Wala . No? I've talked to them. Kulang talaga. No? And so, but yung prinsipyo ang nawawala. Yung make it, ang concept din sa internal control is to create a system so that it makes it difficult for people to conspire. No?
Right.
Yun lang.
Wow, I like that. Okay, let's go on. Vilma V. Alindog. Good evening po from Bataan. I watched Great Raid last night sa Netflix. Nice movie. Bataan Death March. Mr. EXID. Hello, good evening, sirs. Watching from Bulacan. Jake C. Ako sang-ayon ako kay Roque. Kasi naman gusto nila hard ECQ lockdown. Paano naman lang kami hirap na? May ayuda pa ba na ibigay kapag gagawin yun? Ilang company pa ang magsasara at ilang libo pa ang mawawalan ng trabaho dahil sa gusto nila hard ECQ lockdown. Kung pagod sila, kami hirap na. Pamahal ng pamahal ang bilihin. Tama, sa palengke sobrang mahal. Freddy or ready na? Present! Yo! Noel Yuichi, magandang gabi po sa lahat ng mga katipuneros from Central Japan. Lourdes Cock, good evening, Prof. Butch and the boys, trios, the Respishow, listening from Accra City, West Africa. You know what? Who's missing? Betchay. You didn't comment tonight. Ilang episode na kami parati kang nagko-comment, pero ngayon lang kitang hindi nakasama. I don't know. Shall I miss you? All right. You look fabulous tonight, West people. Tune in again next week, Friday, 8 p.m. In the meantime, ask your friends, have you seen the Respishow and his friends? If not, subscribe to KDP channel on Facebook and on YouTube and share this link. And before we go, I'd like to say Hi, Butch. You look so hale tonight. And hi to Arceli Padua, who was my nursery teacher in Kawayan. She bumped into my mother this afternoon and say happy birthday to PYR, Paolo. I said hi to you last week, but happy birthday to you today. All right, Butch, do you have anything to say?
Nothing but congratulations to all of you. Well,
All
you
right.
three, for a good show.
Right. Thank you so much. Christian is happy to hear that. And Aaron. All right. See you next